Hands, touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Come on, people. Sweet Caroline. Come on. Come on, bruv. England are through to the final of the Euros. I mean, how did we get here? How did we get here? But we're here. We are here. And we are in the final, beating the Netherlands 2-1 in what was a deserved win. We deserved to win that game of football. Look, I've been very negative on England, but let me tell you something. We deserve to win that game of football. Trust me. Wow. Oh my days. It's just madness. Like when I consider the preview, right? I look back at the preview I made, right? For the Euros. And I remember talking about England and mentioning that I don't think they'll get very far. I said they'll be very lucky to make it past the quarterfinals. But sometimes you just forget a couple things. One, luck. Luck is one thing that's needed in life. You know, not just in football, but in life, you need a bit of luck. Another thing, and that's in the side of the draw that we got. Um, yeah, it's just madness. And sometimes you need moments, you know? Sometimes you just need that moment. And I think England this tournament, I think that last goal from Ollie Watkins, I think simplifies England in this tournament. Moments. It's been about moments for this England team. It's been about moments for Gareth Southgate. And I must say, Gareth Southgate, fair play. Fair play to Gareth Southgate today. Fair play. Honestly, this is going to be probably the first game I'm going to give him proper credit for, because one thing I mentioned before we really get into the game and the goals and how it went, one thing I really mentioned in the last video or the video beforehand when I was doing a mini preview of the semi-finals, I said that this Netherlands-England game, this is two managers that are not proactive normally. These two managers are very, very reactive. They've shown it this whole tournament. They're very reactive managers. Very, very reactive. And Ronald Koeman showed why he was reactive today. Gareth Southgate decided to switch things up for once. And he was proactive. And that's what won us the game. That was the difference as to why we won that game and the Netherlands didn't. Yes, we deserved it. Yes, we were overall the better team. To an extent, I feel sorry for the Netherlands because I think the referee today was an absolute disgrace for them. I think he was you know what? If I just remove the English bias out of it all, the ref in general today was an absolute disgrace. Disgrace. He was a disgrace today. Honestly. And the fact that there was already those sort of controversy around this referee before this game even happened, around the whole Jude Bellingham thing. I think he got suspended for 6 months. Like, he literally cheated. I think he got paid to cheat, I'm pretty sure. I don't know the full context of the story, but I think that's what I heard. And he got banned for 6 months. The fact that he took charge of a semi-final of a European Championship is a joke from UEFA. And he put in a stinker tonight. Put in an absolute stinker tonight. But regardless of that, Ronald Koeman should still blame himself for his performance as a manager in tonight's game. I think he really let his team down. Whilst Gareth Southgate, he's a massive reason we won this game today in isolation and why we're through to the final. So yeah, credit to Gareth Southgate. We'll give him more credit later on, and as to why those substitutions he made literally made the difference. But yeah, when you talk about the game in general, he part of the same lineup. The only change was Guehi in for Konza. He was always going to do that after not so good performance against Switzerland, but it was better than the rest of the games that we've played so far in this tournament. The same back three, Foden, still Bellingham playing, Kane up front. You've got Trippier on left wing back. You had Saka right wing back. You had Rice and Kobe. And obviously, you had Carl Walker in the centre back role with Stones and Pickford obviously in goal. And I thought the first half overall, with a much better team, for once, England actually decided to control a game of football, take initiative, want the ball, recycle it, and try and create chances from it. Try and make something happen today. I felt like Kane was trying to make things happen today. Phil Foden was trying to make things happen today. Bukayo Saka with another good England performance. Kobbie Mainoo in midfield trying to make things happen. Do you know what I mean? And that was mainly after Netherlands' goal. Now, Declan Rice, yeah, that just, I mean, we've talked about Declan Rice's tournament and how he is on the ball. Boy, hopefully Rodri does not do something to him this Sunday, I must say, because Rodri's going to teach him a lesson. I'm not going to lie, regardless of how that game goes. But yeah, we'll get to that later on. But yeah, Declan Rice makes a mistake. Xavi Simons, who's had a in and out tournament, not been the best. He needed a goal like that, considering how things were going for him, and it was a great strike. I think Pickford has to save it though. I get there's a lot of power behind it, but I saw it again at half time. I think Pickford has to save that. Declan Rice, poor. Poor, 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 poor. But I think Xavi Simons, it was a great strike, great goal, but Pickford has to do a lot better. That didn't bother England. That did not bother us at all. And I think as much as I give credit to us for taking control of the game, taking initiative, trying to make things happen, we kind of had to because we went 1-0 down. But the reason why I'm gonna still give the praise is because after we scored, we still continue to do that. So credit to England. But I think Netherlands also have a part to play in that. I mean, Ronald Koeman, oh, awful, man. I mean, when I say, guys, he had an awful game as a manager today in terms of man management, the substitutions, the tactical setup, awful. Because tactically, the Netherlands were getting run over anyway, especially after the goal. But the fact that his team was sitting back that early on into the game for me was an absolute joke. I get it. You've got good individual players that are great defensively for their clubs. Van Dijk, Liverpool, Ake, Manchester City. You've got, what's his name? De Vrij, Inter Milan. Just won the Scudetto recently alongside Dumfries as well. I get that. But, as a collective, as a team, it's like they need a bit. All good players need a good structure. They need a good game plan. They need something to understand. And I think Ronald Koeman just didn't give them that today. I think it was an awful game from him. And I think they played a part as to why we managed to control the game as much as we did. And look, we eventually get a penalty. Let me just say this right now. It wasn't a penalty. Said it at the time. It's not a penalty. I don't care what anybody says. It's not a pen. I don't understand how that can be given as a pen. And I'll tell you why, right? The ball is bouncing. Kane obviously takes the volley. The reason why Dumfries' foot is that high in the first place is because one, he's trying to get to the ball, or two, he's trying to block the shot from Harry Kane. Whichever one you want to pick that he's trying to do, that's what he's trying to do. Kane gets the ball before him, he strikes it, and they clash boots. Their boots just clash. Harry Kane makes a meal of it, as far as I'm concerned, because seeing the replays, especially after the game and at half time, I could easily make the argument that Kane kicks Dumfries. And you know what? The reason, even Christina, who's normally like she's not a referee, but like she has pretty good analysis and pretty good knowledge of like the rules of the game, the laws of the game, and she's been speaking a lot to ITV about VAR incidents and potential penalties and red cards and stuff like that. And she's done pretty well. And even she didn't expect this to be given as a penalty. She just thought, it's a clash. It's a 50-50 basically. The ref should move on. Even she couldn't believe it. Even she could not believe it was a pen given. I could easily make the argument that Kane kicks Dumfries. I could easily make that as an argument. And I think the reason why this was given as a penalty was simply because of Harry Kane's reaction. Let's say Dumfries goes down as well as Harry Kane. Do they give the penalty? Or if Dumfries goes down and Harry Kane stays on his feet, do they give the free kick the other way? For me, I think they looked at Kane's reaction. They thought, yeah, I think something might be there. They looked at the fact that Kane got the ball first compared to Dumfries, and Dumfries catches him. No, they just clashed boots. It's not a penalty. As far as I'm concerned, it's not a penalty whatsoever. So yeah, England get the pen regardless. Most people don't care, which is fair enough. They want to see England get to a final. But from a Dutch perspective, I'd be absolutely fuming, man. Absolutely fuming. The reason why I'm annoyed is because if that was given against my team, like Chelsea, for example, I would be so rattled. It would be mad. It's not a penalty as far as I'm concerned. Like, what do you want Dumfries to do? Just not do it, like, not stick his leg out at all to try block the effort. It's ridiculous, man. It's like the handball rule these days. What do you want players to do? Just have their hands behind their backs constantly. Come on, man. It's silly at this point. But Harry Kane converts the penalty. Look, Harry Kane and penalties, he does not miss, except for France, obviously 2 years ago, unfortunately. But Harry Kane does not miss those. Harry Kane does not miss those. Keeper goes the right way. And yeah, 1-1. England were better for the rest of the half. And yeah, Depay had to come off, though. And one thing I will give Koeman credit for, even though it was an awful game, was the fact that he brought off Depay for a midfielder. I forgot his name. Verman, I think it was. He was in there with Schotten and Reinders as well. And I think mainly in the second half, with Weghorst coming on, I think the Netherlands done really, really well to stifle the midfield. Because I can't lie, Reinders and Schotten were getting overrun. It was just those two against Rice, Cobby, Jude, and Phil Foden. And Ronald Koeman had to change something. He had to. So the fact that he brought on Weghorst, of course, which I'll come to a bit later, but to have Xavi Simons in there with Schotten, Reinders, and Verman, it really stifled England, and England started playing really average. They didn't start playing badly. It was just average, really. And the Netherlands were getting a little bit better, you could say, as the game goes on, but they're not really doing much, in my opinion, in terms of creating chances. I thought Weghorst was actually really good when he came on. He was causing a lot of trouble to the defenders, giving them, asking them questions, giving them a lot of problems, holding the ball up, laying it off and stuff like that. Gave away a couple silly fouls, but I thought, with that dynamic, the fact that it allows Netherlands to go long as well, because in the first half, they weren't doing that at all. They can't go long with Depay, because Depay is never winning an aerial duel, to be fair. So I'm not going to give Ronald Koeman credit for the Depay sub, because he had to with that one, but I'll give him credit for the Weghorst sub, because that helped, alongside obviously the midfielder coming on, stifle England, and it helped Netherlands just breathe a little bit. So the game's just going on and on and on, and at this point I'm thinking to myself, it's probably going to go to penalties at this point. It's the way the game is looking like it's going to go. But unless Southgate changes something, you never know. But I must say, this is where we credit Gareth Southgate, and this is where, for me, England won the game. For once, Gareth Southgate decided, I'm going to be proactive today. He made 2 substitutions. Took off Harry Kane, which was very good. Because as much as Kane was okay today, he still needed to come off. You need someone different. You need Ollie Watkins, someone that's going to stretch the pitch, someone that's going to basically have those defenders moving. Somebody to ask the Dutch defenders different questions. Because with Harry Kane, I mean, the questions Harry Kane will ask you, they're pretty easy to answer, I can't lie. With Ollie Watkins, it's a little bit different, especially with tied legs. That's a different type of question now. You're asking the Dutch defenders to deal with, to answer with Ollie Watkins, because he runs in behind. He can come, not only can he come short, but he can run in behind. He can stretch the play and go out wide as well. He's a good dribbler of the ball. He's got tons of pace as well. He knows how to use his body really well. Ollie Watkins, I can't lie, credit to Unai Emery. He's turned Ollie Watkins into a top striker, man. Class striker. And Palmer comes on as well. And this is the changes. Proactive. Change the game. Win it in 90. For once, Gareth Southgate saw it in the game. Yo, we can actually win this in 90, Like, we can actually win this in 90. And that's why those changes made the big, big difference. Palmer gets on the ball. He feeds Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins, if you look at that goal again, he has scored that goal so many times for Aston Villa. It's actually ridiculous. He receives the ball, quickly shifts his body, uses his body really well to manipulate not only the ball, but also the defender, and he just takes that snapshot so quickly. He's so decisive and so quick with his decision making. It's like, The guy can go from 0 to 100 with his movement. And that's exactly what he did. You know, he sort of receives the ball and then he just went boom. Change the direction, go on the outside, cut it across, hit it. Mate, what a goal. What a goal, what a finish. England win it in the 90th minute and Ronald Koeman decides for some reason, this is what I mean, reactive. He brings on Zerky and he brings on Bobbery when there's like 2 minutes to go because the refs added 2 minutes of added time. It's like, it's a bit silly, isn't it? It's just really, really silly from Ronald Koeman. I'm not gonna lie. He had an absolute disaster class today, as far as I'm concerned. Whilst Gareth Southgate had a masterclass because we played well from the beginning and he made the right substitutions as well. So for me, this was England's best performance. Gareth Southgate's a key reason why we definitely won this game with the substitutions. Credit to Ollie Watkins, credit to Cole Palmer, credit to Phil Foden, who I thought played well today. Kobbie Mainoo with another good performance. Saka, quality. The back line, quality for once. Kyle Walker was actually good today. Trippier ruined a lot of the attacks. That's why Luke Shaw had to come on and do his thing. And yeah, England in the final. Spain now. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. España. Spain. That's going to be a tough game. And it's always going to be a tough game. I can't lie. As of today, I think I'm feeling a Spain win. Because I feel like Spain have answered all the questions. And I've done everything that you need in a team to win a tournament. I think England have answered a lot of questions, but I think there's a lot left to be desired, and I don't think they perform like a team that have that look like they're ready to win a final. I don't know, but at the same time, it's a one-off game, and if there's one game that we all need a good England performance, it's this one coming up this Sunday. Doesn't matter how we play today. Quarterfinal doesn't matter now. The game against Slovakia, in which we were this close to being out, does not matter. If we win this tournament, all those games will be forgotten about and all will be remembered in the history books. England, champions, Euro 2024. That's all that's going to matter if they win on Sunday. If they don't win on Sunday, a whole heap of criticism might come, but who knows? The media might bring some toxic positivity and say, oh, but we made it to back-to-back finals. I'm already seeing people celebrating the fact that we made back-to-back finals. As far as I'm concerned, you know, even though I was going mad at the beginning of the video, I'm not celebrating back-to-back finals like that, like as mad as they are, because we have to win now. Okay, this England team have to start winning. This squad is too good to not win a major trophy at this point. Like, come on. It's got to come soon, man. It's got to come soon. Whether that's under Southgate or not, surely you think to yourself, a World Cup or a Euros is coming very soon. And maybe it's just destined. Maybe it's just destined for England to do it. I don't know. You know, it's like, maybe people are like, for the sake of football. One side of me is like, for the sake of football, Spain need to win it because they deserve it the most. They've been the best team by far. But destiny, their passion, you get me? You just want England to do it. You know what I mean? Even though it'd be so shameless, you just want England to do it. So, let's see, man. Let's see. If you did enjoy this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Turn those post notifications. And I'll see you guys for Sunday. Boy, it's going to be a madness. It's going to be a madness. See you guys then. Peace.